Hello there, welcome to the video. My name is Ozboz and we're going to be going through the top 10 Palworld mods. I've recently just been finishing up on Palworld and to be honest with you, I've had a blast. It's been a brilliant game. But what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be modding the game out to have a few kind of like quality of life features and just enhance the game a little bit so that we could play through it again but without the constraints of the original game. So without further ado, we're going to go straight into the first mod, which is Map Unlocker. Map Unlocker is actually just a very simple mod, and all it does is that as soon as you enter into the game, the map is surprisingly unlocked. So at the start of every game, you are kind of like in the darkness of the world. You don't know where anything is. It's supposed to be for exploration, but once you've played through the game once already, then you kind of know where everything is. However, if you want to play through it again, Map Unlocker lets you visibly see where you need to go without having to stumble in the dark a little bit. I think it's a really useful mod, and I think that if you are going to go through a second playthrough, give it a go. The next mod that we're going to be looking at is the Carry Weight Increase mod. This is something that definitely was a bit of an issue in my first playthrough, and I think everyone has felt the fact that you can only carry so much iron ore and so many wood and stone. It's a little bit difficult to begin with, and that's why you put a lot of points into your stats for carry weight. However, sometimes you just don't want to have that burden. You don't want to have that on your shoulders. So this mod allows you to increase what you can carry, but it can also make sure that everything in the world can be weightless, so you can have infinite carry space. The reason why you would want this is because, yeah, it's a bit of a challenge to have inventory management and be able to go out and, you know, have a certain limit to what you can carry, and there is a little bit of realism in it, but we're playing a video game, let's have some fun. So yeah, if you are getting burdened by your carry weight and you don't want to spend points into it and you'd rather spend it on attack, then check out the Carry Weight Increase mod. Hey, so we've got a twofer for you right now. We've got faster breeding and pressing F instead of holding F to hatch eggs. It's actually a really good combo if you want to just breed and breed and breed and breed all your pals together. Breeding does take a long time. Like, obviously a huge egg is like 2 hours or something like that, and at the end of the day we don't really want that. So you can actually, even without a mod, go into your settings and swap the settings so that the hatch time is all the way down to 0, so you get an instant hatch. There's no need for this mod at all. That's just something you can do natively to the game. However, you still have to use a lot of cake. What if we swap that cake for just, let's say, raw berries? Well, you end up with something like this. And with the secondary mod of the press F to hatch, this means that we don't really have to hold down to hatch. It's again another quality of life feature. It's something if you want it, but personally I like it. It's very simple, very small, but it just makes my life a little bit easier. So the next mods on our list are the Pal Analyzer and Pal Info, two very similar mods. It is just a case of take your fancy. The major differences is that the Pal Info is in the top left and Pal Analyzer is above the Pal in game. With Pal Analyzer, all you have to do is press Alt on the keyboard to hover over the Pal, and all the information will pop up there. With Pal Info, it's just hover over and it pops up in the left. Pal Analyzer and Pal Info both don't do the party. There are some settings that you can change so that you can see the party info, but if you leave it blank, it's probably best, because you don't want the info on targets that you already have. You can always just check that. It's really up to you guys on what you want to pick. Personally, I'm from for Pal Analyzer just because of the fact that it's not clunking up my screen anymore as much, and it also has this little nifty feature where it will only show you stats depending on how many you've caught. So it's a nice little gameplay idea to keep you kind of like interested in catching pals. So for example, the IVs won't show up after, if you haven't caught 4 of them or something like that, then the IVs won't show up. And if you haven't caught the 10 that are in the PAL deck, then the passive skills won't show up. So you still have to catch 10 to get the info. And I think, like, yeah, it's a nice little feature that just allows the game, the actual mod to fluently go within the game. This is one of my two new favorites. This is always fast travel. It's great. It's honestly one of the simplest mods you could probably have, and it's essentially fast travel from anywhere. I know that like a lot of games have these. Witcher 3 was one of the first ones I used it in, but it's such a quality of life you have no idea. Like, for example, you could be in the middle of two waypoints that are miles away from each other. Think about the Jetragon area. There's no waypoint for ages, and if you don't have a flying mount, then you're kind of stuck. So this is actually a really, really cool mod just to get back to base. Get to where you want to go very, very quickly, and it's again just a quality of life feature that is probably a must-have. Next on our list is removing flying stamina. Now, I can't tell you how much of a pain it was to fly in the early game. As soon as I got my my flying mount Jetragon, and I was a little bit happier with it. I was like whizzing around and flying at Mach 1, but the issue we have still is that flying stamina is existing. So as you can see in the clip, that the stamina still depletes when you're on the ground, but as soon as you get up into the air, boom, you've got flying stamina. You can fly wherever you want. Makes your life so much easier. I would definitely 100% recommend this on these sort of mounts. So Jetragon, Beacon, maybe even a Ragnarhawk. You just want this mount on them so you have no interruptions whatsoever when traveling around. Okay, we're going to be looking at some base building stuff now. So we've got less restrictive buildings. This is a mod that actually kind of hits a bit close because I spent most of my playthrough, on my original playthrough, trying to build a waterfall kind of, like, water park kind of base. It didn't really work. I used a lot of like cheats, and I wouldn't say cheats, I basically glitched through the water to start put foundations below the water so I could start building. I think it still needs to probably do this with this mod, but essentially this just basically makes it a lot easier to build within certain like landscapes and rock formations. Like for example, this part I couldn't actually build in these spots before, but now I can build just to round things off and make things blend a little bit better. But yeah, honestly, I think like this just allows you to be a little bit more flexible on your buildings, especially if you're a solo player and you want to have like a nice looking place. This definitely allows you to just add that creative flair to your base. Okay, so we've got another two mods that go hand in hand. We've got the increased world settings limit, which is interesting to use, as I had a little bit of a field test earlier today. Oh my god, look at all the foxbugs. Oh my god, it's a stampede! It's a stampede! Oh no! Oh dear. Hang on. I have to. Where is it? Please tell me I've got some rockets. I've got one rocket! Fire and hole! Oh no. Oh dear. I wish. Oh god. Right, it's slowing down a little bit. Okay. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's gonna crash. There it is! Oh god, there's a lot of them! Oh my god. That's insane. Hello. We are part of the group. We are part of the group. Oh boy. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh no! Oh no! No no! No no! Oh fuck. Okie dokie. We broke that. Yeah, you can get some crazy stuff going on. But this is basically a prerequisite for the increased base amounts and worker pals. So natively you can actually increase your worker pals within the game. Only by like an extra 5, I believe it is. I think it goes from like 15 to 20. So you can only increase it by 5, but this lets you have it up to 100 or even 1,000. I wouldn't recommend going for 1,000, but even 100 might be pushing it a little bit. I said 50 would be your max ceiling, so that you don't get any performance issues. But yeah, definitely keep it below that, otherwise you are going to start crashing the game. So the premise of this mod is basically that you can just increase the amount of bases that you have. You could actually build a mega base, and they do interact with each other on some instances. After a bit of testing, I did realize that the login site did work, and then it didn't work. The storage didn't really work as well, so I tried to have storage in between two bases, almost like a Venn diagram. And then in that in-between gap where both of them overlap each other, I put storage. Unfortunately, it didn't work, because that would have been a really cool feature to have like all your storage between two bases, and then anything can just go between the two bases, and you know you've got that full interaction between them. There is actually a mod for that that'll be coming in a later video, but I saw that after doing these, and that will be something that I'll look into and test and make sure that we can actually get it working before I actually show it off to the world. And now we're coming to the last mod on my list. We have got more tech points and more stat points. This is a mod that you can tweak before you put it into your folders, and essentially what happens is that every time you level up, you will get an extra amount of points for technology and for stats. You can do it times 2, you can do it times 5, you can do it times 10. I believe you might even be able to unlock all of them. But essentially what it is that once you get to the end game and you hit the level 50, you have to start scrambling around for tech points from other various sources. So you can either go to a chest and hopefully get one from a chest. Some pals actually do drop tech manuals. I believe Anubis and is it the Lylene that drop them? And they're the only two that I noticed that have dropped. So them two drop tech manuals very rarely, but then you can also get them in chests in some of the end game areas. So this just allows you to have a little bit more tech points before you hit 50, so that you don't have to do that as much. I think it's a really nice mod. It doesn't really work once you've hit level 50, so if you are going to start a new playthrough, then what you want to do is put this mod on and have a way with it, and that should give you a bit more of a pleasurable experience. So all these mods have a prerequisite mod to install in the folder before you even think about installing the rest of these mods. This just allows it to basically recognize that these files are mods. It's the UE4SSRE. It's version 3.0.1. I will be making a tutorial on how to do it. It takes 5-10 minutes. It's actually one of the easiest manual mod inputs I've ever done. It's easy once you know what you're doing. So hopefully this tutorial that will be coming up shortly now. If not, then I haven't done it, so sorry about that. But yeah, hopefully I'll have that video up, and it'll be like a 5 to 10 minute video of where to install it and how to actually test if your mods are working or not. So there you go. So that's it for this video. My name's been Ozboz. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got this far, leave a like and subscribe if you want to. I would really appreciate it. It's just down there. Pretty please. With a cherry on top. No, I'm joking. Yeah, if you guys want to support the channel, then by all means go ahead. I also do some Twitch streaming on twitch.tv/Ozboz. It's usually on the Tuesday and Thursday that I stream. And then I also have a TikTok for some very short videos on some of the games that I play. They're not very good, I just like doing it. So yeah, if you enjoyed that, do all that, and hopefully I'll see you in the Twitch channel, and we can have a nice little chat, because I love chatting to you guys, especially if you're giving me ideas. I'll see you in a bit.